Hi everybody, Tom Oates from the Wisconsin State Journal and madison.com here, and the Brewers finished their season 73-89. That certainly is not what you would call a success, but look on the positive side. Manager Craig Counsell kept that team competitive all season, a lot more competitive than people thought, and they went out and they identified some keepers for the future, which was the whole point of this season. Players like Jonathan Villar, Orlando Arcia, Hernan Perez, and Zach Davies all look like they have a solid spot in the Brewers' future on a contender maybe 2-3 years down the line. Now comes the bad news, however. The Brewers might not be as good next year as they were this year. Think about it. Ryan Braun's probably going to be traded. Look, I don't want to see Ryan Braun traded. A lot of people don't want to see Ryan Braun traded. He had his most productive year and healthy year since 2012. But the way this rebuild is going, Braun's going to be 33 by opening day next year. It's almost a certainty that he will be traded at some point. The flip side of that is the Brewers don't have a three-hitter next year if Ryan Braun's traded. They didn't have a four-hitter after Jonathan Lucroy was traded. So the middle of the order is not going to be very good next year if Ryan Braun is indeed traded. Secondly, the pitching was their strength down the stretch. August they were good, September they were great, starters, relievers, everything. But I'm not sure this pitching is going to come back intact next year and be able to perform at the level it performed at in September. Think about it. Matt Garza pitched fairly well down the stretch. There might be a market for him with 1 year left on his contract. The Brewers almost certainly would trade him given any opportunity. Secondly, a lot of people think Junior Guerra, who was their best pitcher this season, I think, had cemented a place in the organization, but he's 31 years old and has a history of elbow problems. That doesn't sound like he's a fit for a rebuilding team that isn't going to be good for 2 or 3 or maybe 4 years. Finally, the farm system is ready to kick out the first wave of prospects. However, if you look at what this team needs, and needs desperately, it needs a 3 and a 4 hitter, it needs a couple of real stud pitchers at the top of the starting rotation. I'm not sure the farm system is ready to kick out players at those positions quite yet, so the immediate help won't be there. I'm still way on board with David Stern's rebuild. I think he's restocked the farm system and given the Brewers a future. But these things don't happen overnight. Sometimes you have to take a step back to take a step forward, and I think the Brewers are going to take one more step back before they really start moving forward.